I'm here with 3 more real-life horror stories. These are actual events that have been submitted by viewers like you. So let's get right into it with story number 3. 3. The Ghost of a Hotel Room. I was working at a hotel in Seattle about 20 years ago. I was a night auditor. My job was to audit the day's transactions before closing the books for the night. It was always dead silent in the office. This particular night was no different. I was in the middle of balancing accounts when the front desk phone lit up. I answered the phone and this voice says, "Is this the front desk?" I go, "No, you have the wrong number." And he says, "Oh, sorry," and hangs up. I thought, how rude. I picked up my cup of coffee and went back to work. About 15 minutes later, the same phone rings again. I answer and the same voice says, "Is this the front desk? I need some help." I say, "No, you have the wrong number." And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell? Then he says, "Can you please send someone up to room 6104? My wife is really scared and she needs some help." I tell him again, "Sir, you have the wrong number. I can't help you." He starts yelling, "Please help her. She's hurting herself." Then I thought, well, if he thinks we're the front desk, then I guess he has the wrong hotel. But why would someone hurt themselves? I thought maybe it's just a prank call, so I went back to my work. About 10 minutes later, the phone rings again, and I answer and he says, "Is this the front desk?" I scream at him, "No, you stupid son of a gun. This is not the front desk. Why are you calling here?" And he says, "Oh, sorry, wrong number," and hangs up. I threw the receiver down and went to make a note of the number, so I could block it on our hotel phone. But when I reached for the notepad, there was a key card on it. I pulled it out and looked at the number. It said 6104. I called the housekeeping manager and told him to go clean room 6104 ASAP and to call security to check it out. He asked me why, but I didn't have time to explain. I just told him to do it now. At about the same time, I heard a blood-curdling scream from behind the closed door of 6104. I immediately called security and told them to kick in the door. They did, and they found a woman standing on top of the dresser holding a pair of scissors to her wrist. She was covered in blood. She screamed, "You have to help me." Security calmed her down and got her to drop the scissors, and they took her to the hospital. It turned out she had cut her wrists badly and almost bled out. Housekeeping came in after and found a bloody meat cleaver on the pillow. We never did figure out who the man on the phone was, or where he got our number from. No. 2. What happened at Granny's house? When I was young, around 9 or 10, my family and I moved into a home that had been in my grandmother's family for generations. The home had many strange occurrences while we were living there. Nothing ever happened when we were awake, only when we were asleep. One night I was awoken by what sounded like screaming in the next room, so obviously freaked out. I hid under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. In the morning, my mom and dad said that they hadn't heard anything all night. One night I was awoken in my bed by heavy footsteps near my room. Again, I hid under my covers until morning and told my parents about it. Still nothing. It sounded like she was right outside my bed, sobbing uncontrollably. My mom and dad were fast asleep, so I got out of bed and walked to my parents' side. As I did, the crying stopped. I don't remember what I did after that, but I clearly remember the fear I felt. In the morning, we discovered a small hole in the wall behind my bed. It was round and looked like an eye hole, what had been there for years and nobody knew. Years later, one of my cousins told me that she had seen the ghost of a little girl in that house. Maybe it was the little girl looking out through the secret hole. I'll never know. Number 1, the Hook Man. This happened to me in the early 80s. I was 17 years old and lived in eastern North Carolina. Back then, I had a 1966 Mustang that was my pride and joy. Around midnight, we decided to go to a secluded area to be alone and parked along a dirt road. It was love at first sight, or so we thought. Makeout session ended with us doing the nasty. As we're going at it, we hear chains dragging metal moans. At first, we just laugh it off, thinking it's some guys trying to scare us off. Then we start hearing heavy footsteps coming closer to our car. We hear chains dragging again, followed by loud banging on the car. My girlfriend starts screaming bloody murder, and I start ripping off my clothes, which just so happens to be the exact opposite of what she wants. Start begging me to leave. I think to myself, what the heck is going on out there? I mean, there are definitely no cars out there in the country. We live 2 miles from town. It's a straight road. There's nothing there but trees and a couple of houses deep in the woods. Well, I'm still naked, and my clothes are strewn about the car. Thinking it's gone? Nah, be easier to run away than to explain to my girlfriend why I wasn't wearing any clothes. I decide to sneak out from the passenger side. I take off running in the opposite direction. Now, my girlfriend is screaming and freaking out, begging me to come back. She's apologizing for accusing me of attacking her, and she wants me to put my clothes back on. I'm too scared to go back to the car and do. I don't want to run into whatever that was out there. I finally reach my buddy's house, pound on his door, and he lets me in. Safe to say I never went back to that car. I didn't want to find out what would happen if you stayed out there overnight. We didn't stick around to find out. My friend and I armed ourselves with shotguns and drove back to where my car was parked. All we found was my car, with my clothes all neatly folded on the passenger seat. The experience left me traumatized, unable to sleep for weeks. I never believed in ghosts until that night. To this day, I don't understand what it was that made that noise. Maybe it was a bear or something else. The scariest part was the dragging chains. Whatever it was, it sounded like it was right outside the car. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and share it with your friends. It really helps me out. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like these. I'll see you next time. Bye.